everyone. I just wanted to do a little bit more of my testimony. My last testimony video, I talked about being lucky to be alive and not being aborted. In this video, I would like to talk about my early life, when I was a toddler. I don't remember the first couple of years. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but then my biological mother and father, they took me to Texas. And as you know, in my past video, I said that my mother was she got into a lot of trouble. As a teenager, and she would be at Raymond Hall, which is the delinquent, and it was the delinquent center for underage juveniles. So she would get into trouble a lot. So they took off for Texas, and they got into some trouble. That's the last I really saw of my father. Remember of my father. He may have gone with us to the next place, but I don't remember all that happened except that just a couple different scenes, and that's it in Texas. Then my mother and I, we made our way to San Francisco, California, in the Haight-Ashbury district. That was the hippie district. And I don't remember a lot there. I was only like 2 or 3. And I do remember that I did not like closed-in spaces. I spent a lot of time alone, and I was mute. I did not talk. And I was also afraid of the dark, which is normal for a lot of kids. I remember a lot of people. Whenever I do not like going to San Francisco. I always get these feelings. So this was a drug house that my mother was at, and she did drugs, and one day she overdosed on heroin and LSD, and she died. So everybody cleared out. There was nobody around. I was the only one with her for 2 days. But I know, even though I don't remember, I blocked it out, I don't remember it, I know that God was taking care of me. I know I had to have angels around me. Otherwise, I would not have be here today. God has taken care of me my whole life. And this was one of them. Because 2 days without food or water is really rough on a person, especially a little one. So I'm not sure if somebody smelled in the house or what, but the police came and found me, and took my mother and took me, and they took me to the orphanage in California, in San Francisco, and I stayed there. They were able to figure out who my mother was, and they called my grandparents from Tacoma, Washington, and they came and got me. I remember having a funeral, but I don't know if it was in California or if it was in Washington. It just seems like it was in California, but I don't know for sure. I haven't found my mother's grave yet. And it's something I would like to do before the end of the world. But it doesn't seem to be as important right now to me. But someday, it's on my bucket list. So they came and got me. I remember going up Highway 101 in a red car and flying a kite along the ocean. And I remember being at my grandparents' house. And then my grandmother and grandfather were married, but she was my step-grandmother. And she decided that she was going to divorce my grandfather. So she didn't think that my grandfather was a fit person to raise me, as of his past record of raising kids. And so she took me to Raymond Hall, and they also had a dependency section where there was an orphanage. So she took me to the orphanage, and I stayed there for a while. And then one day, this man comes in, and he's there for work, and he says, he sees me, and he tells the lady that's right there with me, I want her. So it appears that he and his wife could not have kids, and they had tried, and they were looking to adopt. So I was adopted. I went to a house kind of in the middle of adoption, so that I could learn how to be in a house again. And then I was adopted. And one of the best things was that my mother, my adoptive mother, she said, "You are a Christmas present," because it was right before Christmas. It was a week before Christmas. So I just want to let you know that God is always looking out for you, and that if you have kids, that you need to put your all into them. You need to tell them you love them. You need to take care of them, and you need to be responsible and do the right thing. So if you are pregnant and you to do the right thing and have the baby, but if you don't want the baby, you can give it up for adoption. And let them know right from the start that they are adopted. My adoptive parents did that. And also, make sure that you do not do drugs. I have forgiven my mother, and I've forgiven my biological mother and my stepfather, my biological father. I've forgiven them. It took me a long time, but I wrote a letter to each of them, even though I could not give it to them. Did that about 10 years ago. No, probably about 8 years ago, when I went to Celebrate Recovery, and when I did the Step Studies program, which I really think that people should do. So anyway, if you have done drugs in the past, stop. And I highly recommend Celebrate Recovery. It's a church-based 12-step program for any hurt habits or hang-ups. They do a whole bunch of different things. Depends on where you go. I went to Champion Center, and that was a wonderful program. Anyway, give your kids the respect that you want them to give you, and they will. They'll give you that respect. So tell them you love them, and show them you love them. And if they've done anything wrong, forgive them. And if you're a kid and your parents have done something wrong to you, talk it over with them. Forgive them. And you are so lucky to have parents and to not have had to struggle for everything that you have ever had. So I just wanted to leave you with prayer. I just pray that you will just love your kids, that you will love everything that you have ever had, that you are so blessed. I just pray everything for that here. I pray blessings and favor over you. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Thank you so much.